Have you ever met someone who is too nice? Someone who never says no, always smiles, and seems to agree with everything you say? We're taught from childhood that being nice is a virtue. But what if I told you that extreme niceness can sometimes be a dangerous mask? In psychology, there is a common pattern called people-pleasing. It is the habit of constantly trying to make others happy, often at the cost of your own peace. But here's the dark truth. Why do the sweetest smiles often hide the coldest hearts? And why is it that those who try to please everyone often end up being the most untrustworthy? Today on English Tide, we're not just telling a story, we're revealing a psychological reality. We're going to explore the life of a man named Leo, a man who thought his niceness was his greatest strength until it led him into a trap he never saw coming. By the end of this video, you will understand why you should be careful of too nice people and how to spot a fake personality before it's too late. Pay close attention to every word because today's lesson might just save you from a huge mistake. Meet Leo. Leo was the kind of man who lived by one simple, unspoken rule: never say no. In his office, Leo was known as the go-to guy. If a colleague had a deadline they couldn't meet, they went to Leo. If someone needed a shift covered at the last minute, they called Leo. And every single time, Leo would offer a gentle smile and say, "Don't worry, I've got it." To everyone around him, Leo was a saint. His neighbors admired him, and his friends called him the nicest man in the world. He would stay late at work to finish other people's tasks, skip his own lunch to help a friend move furniture, and even lend money he didn't really have just to avoid the awkwardness of saying no. But behind this wall of kindness, there was a growing fatigue. Leo was exhausted. He believed that his value as a human being was tied to how much he could do for others. He feared that if he ever set a boundary, or if he ever stood up for himself, people would stop liking him. He was a classic yes man, someone who puts everyone else's needs above his own. Leo didn't realize that his niceness wasn't actually a strength, it was a prison. He was so busy building other people's lives that his own life was slowly falling apart. He was a doormat in a world full of dirty shoes. And unfortunately, his inability to see the difference between being kind and being too nice was about to attract the wrong kind of person into his life. Just when Leo was at his weakest, a new person entered his life. His name was Mark. On the surface, Mark was a mirror image of Leo, charming, incredibly polite, and exceptionally nice. He showered Leo with compliments, saying things like, "Leo, I've heard so much about you. The world truly needs more kind souls like yours." For the first time, Leo felt seen. He thought he had finally found a genuine friend, someone who shared his values of helping others. But there was a hidden layer to Mark's personality. While Leo was nice out of a habit of pleasing people, Mark was nice with a cold, calculated purpose. This is what we call manipulation. You see, Mark didn't want a friend, he wanted a resource. He quickly recognized Leo's inability to say no and saw an opportunity to exploit it. It started with small, innocent requests. Mark would ask Leo for quick favors, borrowing his car for an hour, asking him to proofread a 50-page report, or requesting Leo to pay for lunch because he forgot his wallet. Mark always used a soft tone and a friendly smile, making it impossible for Leo to refuse without feeling guilty. Behind that friendly smile, Mark had ulterior motives. He wasn't interested in Leo's well-being. He was using Leo as a stepping stone. Whenever Leo looked tired or hesitant, Mark would play the victim, saying, "I thought I could count on you, Leo. You're the only one who truly understands me." This is a classic psychological trap. Mark was using guilt tripping to keep Leo under his control. While Leo was losing his sleep, his money, and his peace of mind helping Mark, Mark was thriving. He was using Leo's hard work to get ahead at the office and using Leo's kindness to build his own reputation. Leo was becoming a shadow of himself, drained and empty, while Mark's niceness remained as bright and fake as ever. The trap was set, and Leo was walking right into it, unaware that his new best friend was actually his biggest enemy. The breaking point came on a cold Tuesday afternoon. Leo was facing a major crisis at work. A high-stakes project he had been working on with Mark had a serious error, an error that Mark had made. The boss was furious, and someone had to take the blame. Leo, still believing in their friendship, went to Mark and said, "Mark, please tell the boss the truth. I was only helping you with your part. You know I didn't make that mistake." But the man standing before him was no longer the nice Mark he knew. His face was cold, and his smile had vanished. In front of the entire office, Mark looked Leo in the eye and said, "I don't know what you're talking about, Leo. I tried to help you, but you were too distracted. It's your mistake, not mine." Leo felt like the ground had vanished beneath his feet. The betrayal was like a sharp knife. He realized that Mark hadn't just abandoned him, he had deliberately sacrificed Leo to save his own career. In that moment, the facade crumbled. Mark's kindness was never a shield, it was a weapon used to lower Leo's guard. Leo was left standing alone, humiliated and broken. This was the ultimate price he paid for being too nice. He had allowed a wolf in sheep's clothing to enter his life, and now he was paying for it with his reputation and his peace of mind. Leo's pain wasn't because he was a good person. It was because he confused niceness with kindness. There is a huge psychological difference between the two. Niceness is often a reaction to fear, the fear of being disliked or the fear of conflict. It is like a mask we wear to keep everyone happy, even when it hurts us inside. When you are too nice, you're actually seeking approval. On the other hand, kindness comes from a place of strength. A kind person has integrity. They help because they want to, not because they are afraid to say no. To protect your kindness, you must have boundaries. Think of your life like a house. If you don't have a fence or a door, anyone can walk in and ruin your space. Setting boundaries doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you a healthy person. When you stop being a people pleaser, you start being authentic. You realize that saying no to others is often the same as saying yes to your own mental health. Remember, a person who is too nice is often hiding their true self, and someone who respects no boundaries is usually looking for a victim, not a friend. Leo's journey from being a doormat to a man of strength reminds us that your kindness should never be a weakness. Don't let people use your heart as a playground. True respect is earned through honesty and boundaries, not through endless agreement. Being a good person doesn't mean you have to please everyone. It means being true to yourself. Now, I want to ask you a question.
Have you ever met someone who was too nice? Did they turn out to be a genuine friend, or was it just a mask for an ulterior motive? Share your story in the comments below. It might help someone else in our community. If this story touched your heart or helped you learn something new today, please hit the like button and subscribe to English Tide. Together, let's keep learning English through the lessons of life. Until next time, stay kind, but stay strong.